welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to cover some tips and tricks about moving to Lexington, South Carolina. My name is Heather.tiedman. If you're new here, if you could please like, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Today's topic is one that I really enjoy because I'm fairly new to the area. I moved here about 4 years ago. I am from South Carolina, so I did have a good understanding of the area before I moved here. My husband, however, is from New York, so it was a bit of a transition. I am originally from a tiny little town in South Carolina called Wagner. One stoplight, just the whole nine. We have a Piggly Wiggly, so it was a very small town. So moving to Lexington, Columbia area was still a little bit of a transition for me. So I'm going to go over just a few tips and tricks to help make that transition just a little bit easier. Okay, so one of my number one tricks is if you are already from South Carolina and it's a very close drive, then I would take a weekend, come here, drive around, look at the different areas, see what they have to offer. I know that sometimes when you're coming from out of state, that might be difficult. But that is something that you could work with, like a real estate agent, or if you have a friend from here, or honestly just Google. Just look up the different areas and what they offer, because there's a vast difference in a lot of different areas we have here. We have the more urban Columbia, we have the more suburban feel of Lexington, we have the more country feel of like Gilbert. These are all going to be different areas that have a different feel, a different vibe, a different lifestyle that go along with them. And that is something that you would want to know before you decided to move here. So if it is possible to drive around the area, that honestly is your best bet, because you can just get an idea of everything that's going on, what's happening. Go at night just to understand, what it looks like at night, because some areas look a lot different at night than they do during the day. And that is something you would want to know. If you are coming here from another area and, you're coming here for your home search, come a day early, drive around at night, pick out the, a few different areas that you're interested in. And I highly, highly suggest going at night or going during rush hour to just get a feel of, what you're going to be experiencing if you move to that area. I do want to go ahead and apologize if there's some background noise. I do have a dog. Well, I have two dogs. I have a pug and I have a Chihuahua Cocker Spaniel mix, and they're loud. And I try to keep them quiet, but sometimes that's impossible. And then also my kids are home from school today because we had a thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm today. So they did cancel school and they moved it to virtual. That is something else that you want to know coming into the area, is that we do live in an area that can sometimes get tornadoes. I've lived here for 4 years now, and personally in my area, I've never seen a tornado. I've lived in South Carolina my whole life, and I've never seen a tornado. So that being said, it can happen. It just doesn't happen often. But back to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is when you come here, there is an app called Meetup, and I'm not sponsored, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. But when I moved here, I got on Meetup. And if you have a lot of, you have kids, or, you have special interests, this is a great app for meeting new people. I mean, genuinely, it is amazing. I joined a couple of play groups for my kids when I moved here, and that's how I met all my friends. And I met some amazing people through that app, and, they just do different kinds of meetups. The zoo, or you go into the park together, or, if you're into wine, they meet at, bars and stuff and have wine tastings. If you're into like game nights, there's bunco groups, there's card game groups, there's a group for everybody. And honestly, it makes the transition to moving here that much easier. Okay, and lastly, it's going to be one that's not so good, but hopefully will be good in the future, is when you move here, be prepared that we have a lot of construction going on, especially on our interstates. We have a lot of people that like to move to South Carolina, either to retire, a slower pace of living, just, abundance of reasons why they're moving here. And it causes a lot of construction because our infrastructure was not built for all the people that are moving here. But that's okay, because soon we will. Soon we will be prepared. But when moving here, be prepared that sometimes our interstates get locked down, they get slowed down. Start, being prepared. I would genuinely, saves me a lot of time, plug everything into your GPS. Even if you know how to get there, just plug it into your GPS. Google Maps is very, very good about like adjusting for traffic conditions. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. And they give you the quickest way of getting places. So that is what I do, even living here for 4 years, knowing all the back roads and how to get places. I like to plug it in the GPS because if there's an accident on the interstate or construction slowing things down, that can cost you 20, 30 minutes of your time when you could have just went a different direction and it added 5 minutes. That is something that you want to take into account when you have appointments, especially heading into Columbia from Lexington or heading from Columbia to Lexington. These are, especially during rush hour, that is something I would note. With all the construction going on, it does cause delays. And hopefully in the next couple of years, we'll have called up and we'll be ready for everyone that wants to move here, and it'll be great. I just want to say thank you guys for checking out my videos and bearing with me as I learn this YouTube thing and figure out exactly what's going on. I know my videos are, kind of sporadic. I do ramble a little bit, but I do appreciate you guys working with me, and I will catch you in the next one.